So today I want to share some of the things I learned while building a viral app, Samosa. So when do apps go viral? So this is a question that we always like. If there is a formula for apps going viral, we want to know that formula, right?
Yeah.
So I put out some thought into what that formula could be, and I'll talk about some of the details regarding that today. So when do apps go viral? So the first thing we need to define is what do we mean by viral? Okay,
Okay.
what is the definition of viral? So by viral here we mean growth that comes to the app which is purely driven by word of mouth.
Okay.
Okay, so the standard definition of viral, just for the sake of completeness, I put it here. And like there are other viral tactics, right? Like as soon as you install the app, you spam all of your contacts,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
they install the app again. They spam their contact. We're not talking about that sort of virality.
Okay.
We're talking about virality that is purely driven by word of mouth, which means the user really, really likes the app, makes it, he talks about it with his friends and so on. That is the kind of growth we are talking about.
Okay.
And now, the next question is first, we define virality. Now, we said it means getting word of mouth. Now, how do we attain word of mouth? What does word of mouth even mean? Like, it just means that we have to make the app or its creations part of everyday communication. Like,
Oh,
very straightforward, simple flow of thought. Okay.
yeah.
Now, there are a lot of apps which have made their app or their creations part of everyday communication. Okay, so some of the examples include Bobble, Snapchat, Yo, Prisma, Samosa, Dub Smash. So if we try to look at it, some of these apps, stickers apps, I try to include a lot of variety. So Dub Smash is a video app. Snapchat is disappearing photos. Prisma is beautiful photos. Yo is just one standard message, right? Yo. So all these apps tend to like from the look of it, all of these tend to be doing very different things, but they are all viral,
Yeah.
right? So what exactly is driving virality of all of these apps? So that is the question that we are trying to answer today. Okay, so basically, all of these apps have accomplished the task of riding on word of mouth user growth. So, to understand how they did that, we have to first lay out the components of everyday communication. Word of mouth
Okay.
happens as part of everyday communication, right? So, what
Yeah.
are the components of everyday communication? It's very straightforward, simple model. There is a sender, and there is an audience, and there is a message you send to that particular audience. This is the standard model of communication.
Why did you include message format as a part of as a significant component of everyday communication?
I'll tell you, it has a lot of significance. I will come to that.
Okay.
Okay. So, by message format, people tend to think about audio, video, text, but that's not the sense in which I'm using the word message format. I'll get to that.
Mhm.
So, first we said virality. Virality is driven by word of mouth. Word of mouth is driven by making it part of everyday communication. Now, everyday communication, we are trying to understand the parts. Okay, one, two, three, four levels. Like now, in everyday communication, we are going a step further. We'll try to first look at the audience of all of these apps that we have mentioned. What is the audience of Bobble? What is the audience of Snapchat? What is the audience of Yo? Dub Smash, Samosa, Prisma. So
Okay.
the first question is, who is the audience across all of these apps? So if we look at it closely, it turns out that the audience is the same for all of these apps. It turns out to be our inner circle. So it turns out to be our boyfriend, girlfriend, or extremely close friends.
Okay.
So for Snapchat, it is the inner circle. For Yo, it is the inner circle. Samosa, it is inner circle. I take any app, the inner circle potential is what all of these viral apps tend to ride on.
Even WhatsApp is similar, right? I mean, even that banks on inner circle.
Yes, but I did not want to include WhatsApp
Yeah.
because uh, we we want to be reasoning about the next viral app.
Sure. Sure.
So so that's my axiom one. If you want to build a viral app,
Hmm.
you got to ensure that it enhances my communication with my inner circle.
Okay.
The axiom one of viral app. Okay, now so it can be summarized as the following, like audience tending towards the relationships I care the most about. It also makes sense, right? Like the relationships I care
Yeah.
the most about, I want to connect with them in new ways. I want to communicate with them in better manner. I want to share my feelings, emotions with them.
Yeah.
So that is the audience part of it.
Hmm.
Now there is another interesting component, right? Like there is message format.
Okay.
So what is happening with message format? Let's try to understand that. So what is like the essence of message format across all of these apps? So message format is probably not the right word here, but what I'm getting at is the following.
Okay.
So all of these apps tend to come up with a message format that ensures that as like take Bobble for example. It says don't worry about your looks, we'll cartoonify it. No matter how you look, it will cartoonify. Talking Tom. Yeah, are you worried about how you sound? Don't worry. We'll turn it into a fun voice. We'll increase the pitch or decrease the pitch and make it into something fun. Snapchat, don't even worry about the message. We'll delete it. Like Prisma, I'll make everything look beautiful. You don't even care about it. Samosa, don't worry about misinterpreting your text. A text is ambiguous, right? Multiple times you send something, the other person might interpret it in some other manner. But whereas if you share audio, you don't have that problem. Like you'll say what you have to say. That's it. So if you look at here, like there are certain social inhibitions that are taken care of by these message formats. For example, in Bobble, there is an inhibition, right? How do I look while sharing a photo? It takes care of that inhibition. Like if there are pimples in my face or whatever, there are various kinds of inhibition. My nose is not good, this, that. So I'll cartoonify it. I'll make, and then this Prisma, like no matter what photo is, I'll make it look beautiful. And then take examples of Talking Tom or Samosa. The message formats are such that you don't have to hear your own voice. It's really awkward to hear your own voice. People don't like to people hate
Yeah.
their own voices, right? They somehow feel they're not sounding that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the essence of this message format, if we look closely, it's about getting rid of a social inhibition or getting rid of a formality or something awkward that we are not sharing because of some inhibition.
Yes.
So when I say message format, I don't mean audio, video, text. What I mean is what is the social inhibition or what is the that awkwardness that the message format is getting rid of. That is more important than actual photo or video or audio.
Okay.
So if we look at the essence of message format across these apps, it is tending towards overcoming social inhibitions and formality.
Yeah.
So now we have sort of the parts of the components, right? Like if we look at audience, it tends to be a boyfriend, girlfriend, and extremely close friend, basically the inner circle. And
Yeah.
message format, it has to be something that overcomes the social inhibitions, formality, and basically that awkwardness. Like there'll be certain questions in our head, right? Am I looking good? Is my voice right? Those sorts of questions. It's about getting rid of that. So, so if we were to summarize all of the things that we looked at, it will look like something. It will go something like this. What social inhibitions are we getting rid of while communicating with our inner circle? So, getting rid of social inhibitions, it takes care of the message format, and communicating with inner circle, it takes care of the audience. So, I think an accurate description of a viral app will necessarily encompass both of these components.
Okay.
So, like this is where I want to end because
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
next viral app will be something that will figure out what other social inhibitions are coming in our way while communicating on mobile with
Okay.
our inner circle. I think both of these components are really, really important.
Okay.
There is sender side things also, like,
Uh-huh.
uh, but sender side we'll ignore for now.
Yeah.
We can come back to it later. What are your thoughts?
Now I'll start asking questions. Okay. The first thing is, this is one template of virality, right? You are not saying that this is the template uh, which all viral apps in some form. Are you saying that, or are you saying this is one template of virality?
I'm saying if the virality is driven by word of mouth,
Uh-huh.
it will fit into this pattern.
Okay, let's take the case of let's say Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it's it's how does it fit? Where which social inhibition is it? Removing, and it's not really inner circle, right? It's most, you can say it's inner circle in the sense that uh, it is your college friends. That's how it started, right? But so what about the social inhibition part in this in Facebook?
Ah man, Facebook is a little hard to put into this sort of a framework.
Okay.
But a lot of stickers app that we are seeing currently and a lot of viral mobile apps that we are seeing currently,
Mm-hmm.
they can be fit into this sort of framework. I think I should not say that this is the only template.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think this definitely has very high probability of succeeding.
Okay. This is not part of this call, but previously we had discussions on this where we you can stop your presentation. You can start streaming yourself live. Stop sharing your screen so that now that when you are talking, which is not in the presentation, we can see you. Okay. Yeah. So we previously we had this discussion, right? When we were brainstorming, that you cannot come up with a product idea with a template.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not something which can be used as a source of ideas, but this is something which can be used as a filter for ideas. Is that accurate?
Look, like this description of virality, it goes something like this, right? Like it says you got to figure out a social inhibition.
Hmm.
It says that social inhibition has to be something that should stop me from saying something or sharing something with my inner circle.
Okay.
Now that's like saying you have to
Hmm.
see what no one else is seeing, and you have to do what no one else is doing, and you have to put out a product that no one else is doing.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So the description inherently has that component of seeing the the things that are missing, seeing the things that are not built yet.
Yes, but I wanted to make it. Yeah.
Even if you just answer the question,
Mm-hmm.
like what are some more social inhibitions that exist while talking to my girlfriend?
Uh-huh.
I think if somebody can list down like one, two, 3 points, I think you will
Mhm.
have like a viral product.
Okay. So I want to get to the incidents which made you come up with these insights, in the sense that when did you arrive at the insight that it has to be something to do with your inner circle, and then it has to be something to do with social inhibition. I want that story also to come out, so that you know uh, it's like coming up with these insights itself is a very fruitful exercise. So if someone goes through some incidents, if this helps form insights for them, it's useful. So get to those stories.
I think the story is a long story and a lot of thought went to it. It might, like the description I have told, it sounds very simple, right?
No, it does. I mean, it looks simple, but I know that arriving to that point is a long journey. But
So it has been about samosa and thinking about samosa and talking to the users. Uh, when we looking at the sharing patterns in samosa, when we looked at
okay,
sharing patterns, we saw that a lot of romantic clips were getting shared. So, what does
okay,
sharing romantic clips mean in the context of users' life and everyday communication?
okay,
And what is driving our word of mouth? So, those are the questions that made me realize that okay, if it is a stickers app, people tend to share it with their inner circle. Like I saw what bobble stickers people are sharing with me or with their friends. Like we did a lot of user research also at Samosa. So while talking to users, we were asking them what apps are you using and who do you share content from that app with. And
okay.
then like when you like talking constantly about users,
Mm-hmm,
the initial insight triggered from the way people were using Samosa,
mm-hmm.
and then the overall idea got became more and more concrete as we uh, talked to a lot of users over a period of months.
So how did you arrive at the social inhibition insight? You talked about how you arrived. I mean, at least you gave some picture of how you arrived at the first one. That is inner circle. Now the second insight is um, what is that? I don't recall.
Yes, social inhibition.
Social inhibition. Yes.
Okay, like there's one thing that really intrigued me, right? Like what really intrigued me was I take any phone, the number
Mm-hmm.
of private photos that people share with no one
Hmm.
is much more than the number of things they share with people.
Okay. So
How
that is cool.
How do you explain that?
Okay, so all these are like possible routes of expression for those all those set of photos which they're not sharing with anybody, right?
Yes.
Okay, good, good.
And there are probably private photos that people haven't been creating on a regular basis. You
Yeah,
see, those are they just randomly create and put it.
yeah, yeah.
But whereas when an app like Snapchat comes, the
Mm-hmm.
private potential tends to again increase.
Yeah.
And not only that, the sharing potential also increases. It tends to make it less formal and connects it with your inner circle.
Okay. Okay.
So the question triggered because of disproportionate number of private photos on the phones of people,
Mm-hmm.
and the idea that there are social inhibitions, there are still formal aspects of our communication
Okay.
that need to be gotten rid of.
Mm-hmm.
It came out during discussion, like while talking to people, and
Okay. Yeah. So, how much of did this stuff did you know before coming up with the Samosa app? Was this during the, was this a post analysis of it, or was any of this instrumental initially in coming up with these apps?
no, like no way. I this all this stuff was things I learned and basically insights that I tried to distill into something that I can use as a framework while coming up with new products. Initially, I had none of this was like
Okay.
none of
Yeah.
this existed. Like this level of understanding was
Was not there initially.
yeah
Okay.
definitely not there.
Okay.
If I am
So
doing a new product now, like I'll tend to think about these aspects definitely.
yeah, these things definitely increase the probability of success. And otherwise, yeah. So you're exploring just a huge range of possible things, and you don't know where you're heading and what you're doing. Okay.
Like
So.
even like something as simple as
Mm-hmm.
being totally conscious about your thoughts
Mm-hmm.
for one complete day
Mm-hmm.
with respect to communicating with the most important relationship of your life.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give at least one or two opportunities. That's this is my
Okay.
conjecture,
Okay.
but it's
Nice.
really really hard to do.
So I know that you spent like 6, 7 months looking at various kinds of apps, right? So
Yes.
this is uh, now we are slightly branching out with the call. We can do it later or we can do it now, but let's see. Um, one of the things which you mentioned previously was the difference in the way Chinese construct their apps and the way Americans construct their apps, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, both the factors which you mentioned are human elements. So it doesn't matter whether someone is from US or from China or from India. But uh, can you point out some things about those things? As in, uh, I am branching the call out, but I'm just bringing out more of the research you have done over the past several months, so that it's useful for other people.
I think the research I've done on Chinese apps, I don't think it will add any more than what we discussed.
Discuss here. Okay.
Uh, but the definitely a lot of interesting stuff happening in China, and there are apps that work only in China. One example of that app is this app called Fenda. Like
Fenda. Okay.
BND. I think everybody should go and read what that app is.
Mm-hmm.
It does not exist in US. It's not a copycat. It's based on
It's
like
unique to that. Okay.
unique to probably is there something cultural about Fenda? That's a good
Mm-hmm.
question to think about.
Mm-hmm.
I think a more important observation I made while analyzing Chinese or American apps is What are the cultural assumptions inherent in tech itself?
Okay.
So, what does that question even mean? What do I mean by cultural assumption? So, I'll give you an example. Let's say we take a photo of a group.
Okay.
So, if there is a darker person in the group, it tends to
Mhm.
look even darker in the photo.
Okay.
Okay. That is because the native camera itself it tries to increase the contrast.
Okay.
So, in a way, one could say that the native camera is racist. I mean,
That is
like,
very interesting.
there are this. If you look at it from cultural perspective, that particular angle,
Mm-hmm.
things like this exist. Which, like, if you're surrounded by white people all the time,
Mm-hmm.
do not think about this problem.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
but if you are in India, you have this unique opportunity to look at this problem as it is, and probably devise algorithms to make
Mm-hmm.
camera unracist. So there are these interesting opportunities like this. Like I'll tell you one more
Mm-hmm.
a social inhibition. Like taking selfies, it's a
Mm.
social inhibition for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So can there be an app like
Mm-hmm.
for example when I take a selfie, my
Mm.
hand will appear
Mm.
and wherever I'm moving the camera, it
Mm.
will sort of take my face and all this, right?
Mm-mm-mm.
So can there
Okay.
be an app that takes two, three photos like this
Mm-hmm.
while I'm moving my hand and
Mm-hmm.
stitches them together so that it
Okay.
does not look like selfie, unselfie? It's an inhibition for me to share selfie because I don't want to look like narcissistic. I just seeing
Okay.
what I'm trying to say. So there is a definite inhibition, like the number of selfies I share
Mm-hmm.
is like very less.
Yeah.
Because of the very simple factor, I don't want to look like narcissistic in front of my friends, like boasting about myself. But
Mm-hmm.
if the if there is an app using which I can take a photo and it does not look like a selfie, the
Mm-hmm.
probability of me sharing my selfies will definitely increase.
Yes. Yes.
So that is what also Snapchat also does, right? Like it puts a facial mask to
Yeah.
encourage you to share more selfies, so that it looks entertaining for the other person. Here I am saying, let's get rid of the hand from the photo while taking the selfie.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like if we carefully look at what is happening from morning to evening, 24 hours, second by second,
Mm-hmm.
I will see tons of opportunities like this. I just told like couple of
Yeah.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Like more
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
uh, Chinese or Indian or US,
Mm-hmm.
this aspect of inhibition is much
Much
more
more appeal.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
it creates new triggers in your brain and it stops you from doing certain things. And
Okay.
so the biggest learning is that like
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about it from inhibition angle. Like two examples I told, one is about
Yeah.
this
Selfies.
self unselfie and another one is make cameras less racist.
Yeah. Okay. This is interesting. So basically, observe your life more. That is where you'll start spotting opportunities, then which you can use to
While
analyze through this template.
and the observation has to be done in a particular intent.
Mm-hmm.
That intent is communication inhibition with inner circle.
Okay. Cool. Nice. Okay, I'll stop the broadcast now. Or do you have anything to say?
I think we'll take